Here we go. Chapter 77 is here and it's something kind of different. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, happy Spooktober, and as you can see, I decided to get a bit festive by decorating, but there is a reason for it. And that's because I just finished filming another video for my top 10 anime to watch on Halloween. This one is going to be something really special as I did put a ton of work into this one. I will be dropping the video this Friday on October 22nd, so if you haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe and click the bell to be notified when that video releases. I'm seriously really excited for this Halloween video, but enough of that. We're here for one reason and one reason only, and that's for Chapter 77, so let's unpack that now.
Yes, I suppose that would be for the best.
This entire chapter is devoted to backstory, which is something I can't really recall happening much in previous Dragon Ball chapters. Usually we get a few flashbacks or pages talking about a past event, and that's about it. Here Toyotaro completely devotes the chapter to events that happen on planet Cereal. We start the chapter off with the Saiyans arriving on planet Cereal and immediately start wreaking havoc in their Ozaru forms. And unfortunately the Namekians and Cerealians who are living peacefully together don't stand much of a chance because they are already pretty small in terms of a population, but even on top of that, they are just such a peaceful planet, they don't have much reason for fighting, and so they only have a few strong warriors. We do get to witness one of them by the name of Flake, who destroys the moon, so that does show some pretty high level capabilities, as we saw Roshi and Piccolo both do it on Earth as well. So that does reasonably tell us that Flake is somewhere around that level of power, where the humans and Piccolo were when the Saiyans arrived on Earth. All the Saiyans do revert back to their normal forms, but unfortunately this doesn't really matter as Flake is no match for them anyway and is instantly killed. So my guess here tells me that Flake was more in line with Dragon Ball levels of power and probably around Roshi's strength that he displayed at the Budokai. Most Saiyans aren't really that strong, as you can see these guys are all adults while Krillin, Tien, and the others would be kids or not even born yet. And we do know how strong they become, and it's way more powerful than what these Saiyans are capable of. And we know that because they went up against Vegeta and Nappa, who were the most powerful Saiyans at the time anyway. Also, cool little callback as we get to see a familiar character, and that's Leek. I'm sure you remember him from the Broly movie, but we now get an explanation as to how he got that scar, so that's something, I guess. Seriously though, I do like how they tied everything together, and it makes the Saiyans a lot more relatable as we learn more of their faces and personalities. This is where Bardock comes in, and he was just kind of chilling on a roof until Flake blew up the moon, and so he saw a kid running into a house, and that's where he spotted Granolah with his mother. Granolah's mom instantly takes a shot at Bardock and manages to break a piece of his armor and drew blood as well. So that's interesting information as she obviously is pretty strong herself, and with an eye like that, she can pinpoint weak spots. This motherly instinct to protect her kid brings on flashbacks of Bardock back on planet Vegeta. This is where he is with Jin, and we can even see Raditz playing in the corner too. Bardock names his kid Kakarot, and this little family moment makes Bardock become kinda soft, and so he decides to spare their lives and even help them. He lies to Leek and tells him to go on without him, as all the Saiyans have already finished their destruction and are leaving. He then takes Granolah and his mom to find the only other living person on the planet, and that's when Bardock meets up with Minato, and that is how Minato meets Granolah and his mom. But this little moment of peace won't last long because we do move back to present time, and we get to see a shot of Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah as he realizes he's only alive because Bardock spared him, and Minato realizes that Goku looks just like Bardock. So this next part caught me off guard because Minato asks Goku if anyone in his family tree went by the name of Bardock, and this is when I realized, despite all the stuff we've gotten about Bardock all these years, I don't think we've ever had Goku actually learn who his real dad actually was. I'm honestly trying to remember, so let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, canonically anyway, Goku has had no prior information about Bardock. This is when Vegeta tells him that Bardock is his father, and Goku is just as shocked as everyone else, because the odds of this connection where both father and son show up on the same planet is pretty interesting fate, as Granolah was trying to kill the son of the man who saved him. Ironic, but I like it. Now we dive even deeper into how all of this connects, because one thing is still unclear, and that's how did Granola's mother die? Well, that's where the Heeters come in. As we know, they were the brokers finding planets and then selling them to the highest bidder, and they did this by removing the original inhabitants of that planet, which is where Frieza and the Saiyans come in as the muscle. The Heeters discuss among themselves their ultimate plan, which is to reign over Frieza's army and be the ones in charge of the universe. This is ultimately what I've liked about the Heeters from the beginning. They're strategic and utilizing their intelligence and wealth to get what they ultimately want, and aren't just using brute force, but even better, use others for that brute force when needed. Bardock overhears all of this, and unfortunately Granolah screams out when he wakes up because he sees Bardock, and this causes the Heeters to be aware of this, and when they show up, they can see that Bardock was pretending he was going to kill them in hopes they would go away and not think anything of it. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite go that way. Without a moment of hesitation, the Heeter questions Bardock and waits for him to blast them, but Bardock tries to reason with them and says the Namekian is useful, and in a blink of an eye, we see Granola's mom has been shot and killed. Bardock, with a desperate attempt, shoots a ki blast at the Heeters, but Gas instantly steps in with a force field to stop it. Side note, I'm really excited to see Gas in action because we've had hints of just how powerful Gas must be at this point. Anyway, the smoke from the blast was enough to let Bardock and the others get away, but as we already know, Granola's mom is dead. We then jump to the present time again, and this I thought was really interesting because we saw Gas flying off to find Bardock, but in present time, Gas says, "I will not suffer such indignity ever again." So Gas did end up fighting Bardock, and from the sounds of it, Bardock won that encounter. And now Gas will want revenge on Goku since he's the son of Bardock and looks just like him. So I like how everything has connected full circle and brings more motivations for our true villains, which we all know are the Heeters. I'm pretty sure myself and everyone else called it a long time ago about Granolah. He was never going to be the true villain, and ultimately was always going to end up teaming up with Goku and Vegeta to take on a bigger threat. So now the question is, who or what is that bigger threat? Is it Gas? How powerful can Gas really be? As far as we know, the other Heeters are not nearly as strong, and so there must be a plan B, since the Heeters' plan was for them to take one another out, which obviously didn't end up working. I'm curious though, I wonder if Gas is the plan B, or is it the Dragon Balls and the wish they are ultimately going to make when they find the second ball? I want to know, what do you think the wish will be when they make it that would possibly put them in a power of position once again? Do they want physical power or something else? Let me know in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed the chapter, and I also hope to see you all on Friday for when I drop my top 10 anime to watch on Halloween video. So if you enjoyed this, then consider subscribing, click that like button, and hit the bell to be notified when the next video releases. Happy Halloween!